Oh, the wonders of technology.
Look at that. I clicked it and it starts
Clicker.
recording.
I think every tech entrepreneur should have a clicker.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome. It's Grant Stain here, CEO of Blam Digital, and I've got my good friend and colleague Alex Melrose,
Howdy.
Sales Marketing Director at Blam. And today we're going to do a little, well, I guess they call these a fireside chat, but we
Yeah.
haven't got a fire. So we're just having a coffee.
Could do one.
We could do with a fire, it's a bit nippy. We're just having a catch up. Thought it'd be good just to record some of our thoughts and insights for those of you that are thinking of starting your own digital marketing agency. I've been running agencies now for many years, well over 20 years, and Alex's role is very much about helping people on their journey to success running a digital marketing agency. And so pretty much every day, but you'll have already done it this morning.
This morning, yeah.
Yeah, you are helping people on their way.
That's it. Yeah, it's often helping with clients and the kind of nuances and the little navigational entrepreneurship stuff where it's, I've just made my first deal. How do I invoice it?
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic problem to have because you collected the money. Just need to know how to do it. And then stuff like networking and how to appreciate clients is something that we were talking about earlier on. So it's all pretty good fun.
It is, and at Blam, what we try and do is help people on their entrepreneurial journey, obviously running their own digital marketing agency, and we tend to take the approach that you're never going to know everything when you first go out and start selling and start looking for business, because there's just so much information that a lot of people have to take in, particularly if they've not run a business before.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I have absolute empathy about the mountain of. I always kind of say this to people actually. You know, when you go on Franchise Direct and there's so many choices, it's kind of like being a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then you press the emails, and I bet you guys are getting battered by emails right now and phone calls. So we want to just kind of help you digest it in bite-sized chunks, hopefully.
100%, and that kind of means that, you know, if you're going to go out and start speaking to people once you've got your business set up, you're not going to know everything, and so we tend to take a hands-on approach in that element and that respect, and guide you through those different stages. So today I wanted to just kind of dive into one of the key things that comes up when you get your first clients, and that is how to account manage and how to look after them. And just to put this into perspective, some of our partners running digital agencies have still got a full-time job, and then they get their first customers on board, and we do a lot of the day-to-day account management, so things like updates to campaigns, all the delivery of the actual content, the design, you know, the website edits and all that kind of stuff.
Don't forget the tech stuff.
And all the IT. But the partner, our Blam partner, the person that's the owner of the digital agency, still needs to form a relationship with their customer and endear themselves to them as that high-level point of contact support. So you deal with this every day, Alex. My question to you would be, how do you advise our partners, people running their own digital marketing agency, if they've got a full-time job, to keep in touch with their existing clients?
I think there's a couple of different things, and I'll probably ramble on, so feel free to dig in. But one of the most important caveats, if you imagine we have Blam Bingo, so if you're watching at home, you have your little bingo card and write it down. One of the things that we talk about is disarming honesty. So there's no point pretending to your clients that your situation is different. The reason why you've bought a franchise is so you can be the consultant alongside your full-time job, and you can tell the story of how you're looking to transition. So that sets the expectations from the client side, letting them know when you're actually available. And the fact that you've got the team working in the background lets the client know that you're the safe pair of hands, but you're backed by a bigger team. I find that people that try and pretend that they are, I'm a super successful entrepreneur and this is how my marketing agency works. And if that's not true, then that sets the wrong expectation, and it sours the taste in the client's mouth, so to speak. Then when you know your availability, we recommend that you over-deliver on your first few clients. So you get, especially if you haven't been in we get a lot of people that haven't been in sales or marketing before. If you're over service, it's your baby, like a Tamagotchi, which is a very dated reference. And you learn what it's like having clients. Sounds simple. Some people don't need to do that because they've already got the experience. But if you over service, then you get lots of positive feedback from your clients. You get lots of interactions with the team and me, so you know that you're in safe hands too. And then you have your self-esteem, which is the most important thing, I'd say. Self-esteem and confidence, mindset is probably 90% of the job. So if you then know that you are providing value, the stuff that's part of your prospecting, deliver value for free, and then after the fact, when you're speaking with people, you just ooze the confidence, and you can't fake that. So you've just got to be honest in the meantime.
It's a really important point, that, because when people first start out in business, and by the way, not all of our partners start with a full-time job. A lot of partners do go straight into it full-time. I was having to catch up with one of those this morning, actually, and of course you can get further much quicker doing it that way. However, the perception is that if you are running your agency and you're new to it, you want to give the impression that you're not new and that you're really experienced and you've got all the answers, and that's kind of, as a human being, the thing that we kind of naturally want to purvey. Yes. But as Alex said, people can see through that. There's no point trying to pretend that you're a super expert in digital marketing. You've been running an agency for years. If you're brand new, you
just put an awful lot of pressure on yourself, and if you start thinking like that before it's even happened, you're going to give yourself panic attacks before you even start the thing.
Yeah. I think the point being that you want to be absolutely honest in business, because the world's full of enough people trying to pretend to be something that they're not. But the truth is that what you have when you start as a Blam partner is an exceptional team as your back office. You've got all the experts in the world behind you, and then you are the person that is the consultant at the front. You don't need to be on call 24/7 for your customers, because you've got this big team that are working for you, a team of experts in the background. And when you're honest about that, it's very endearing. And so often I find that with Blam partners, when they are honest about their scenario, the first few customers that they get are really supportive. They want to see their success. They're on board with you. They know what they're getting into. And because we've got a support system in the background, that means that your customers have pretty much got 24/7 access to a team of experts that can reply via our support system. It's no, it's not detrimental to your business to say that the journey that you're on, but it is uncomfortable.
Yes. Well, that's the whole purpose of buying a franchise, is because you want to, other than the obvious stuff, you want to make money, and you want to, give yourself a better position, have a legacy for your children, etc. You are paying to become a better version of yourself, and in order to improve and change, you must get outside of your comfort zone. The good news is you're working with a team who care and have done that hundreds of times over with lots of different people around the world, and it's a bit like both Grant and I go to the gym. Grant's a lot fitter than I am. But I employ the services of a personal trainer, and I've had personal trainers where they've just they just shout at you, and they don't make you feel very good. My personal trainer at the moment, he's been to my wedding, just came to my 30th birthday party. We've got a really good relationship. It's the same thing. You want to work with people that have your back, that aren't going to push you and get you outside of your comfort zone, but have the best of intentions about it. So that's I'd say quite an important piece as well.
I think that's a really good point, because we form really close relationships with our partners, but in the same way that we advise that our partners form good relationships with their customers too. We were talking about this earlier. There's been plenty of times where You know, I've got really good friends that started off as customers, and because we're in an entrepreneurial environment, you know, our partners are entrepreneurs that are dealing with typically other entrepreneurs, because most often when you're dealing with customers, you end up dealing with, you know, the CEOs, the managing directors, or certainly, you know, marketing directors. They're the people that you form the relationship with, and because you're entrepreneurs, you're going to form really strong bonds, because what we find is entrepreneurs attract other entrepreneurs. You know, we're part of that, you know, minority mindset of people that, you know, have stepped well outside their comfort zone to try and create something that is part of their vision, and that is a bond, and so your customers become friends, and that's really key. In the same way that, you know, we become very friendly and close to our partners because we're all in it together. Awesome. Well, I've enjoyed that little fireside chat, mate.
Yes.
And we'll probably do more of these.
The more you watch and subscribe, the more fire pits that I can buy.
There we go. Yeah, we could do one this morning. It's a bit chilly here. But thanks for listening, guys. Please like and subscribe. If there's anything you want us to dive into, just put it in the chat below. And yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks, Alex.
Always ciao for now.